Me, Anthony Wall, a few other guys, Josh Decker, we were trying to pump that class up, get the bone stock guys coming back out to hit the county fairs and stuff like that. And I think it worked out well. I think Jeremy Spinning Wheels Productions, I think he expected 10 cars. I think last year he had 4 bone stock cars.
Yeah.
Expected around 10. And I think the final count was somewhere in the area of 30. I think there was 15 in one class and 14 in the other. He actually had to split the class because there were so many cars. Didn't expect to. But he paid out the full purse and even added to the other purse. Instead of chopping it for us, he took it on the chin and paid it out. It was pretty good. I ran front-wheel drive Eldorado, just a freebie car. Worked out good. Went into limp mode actually towards the end. So I couldn't hit anybody, and nobody was really hitting me. So, and at the end, it was just me. So that worked out good. Randy got second, and Eric followed up with fourth for the Team Road Rage guys, and it was a good night.
It was a good night. I mean, that was a lot of fun to watch. Anthony Wall picked up. There wasn't the truck heat. There was the light truck heat that was scheduled for that night.
Yes.
It lasted 6 minutes.
If that, yeah.
There was 6 trucks out there. And it was over just like that. And I don't know what happened, but like somebody waved a Magic Demolition Derby wand, and everything was twisted.
Yeah.
Everything was junk. So Anthony went full track into the side of a Blazer and hit it so hard in the doors that it peeled the floor back past the frame. Took it right off the frame.
That's awesome.
One shot. Wow. And neither one of them moved again. So it was hard to say who was a mad dog, but he certainly jumped to the top of the list in that. And then he was hitting so hard he never secured the cap on the distributor, and the cap ended up someplace on the track. So he lost spark and everything. It was over after that, but sure enough,
he pulled a mad dog out of that heat also. Yeah, Anthony, he has a wall-to-wall auto over there.
Did he? I thought he got Mad Dog in.
No, in the trucks. He got
trucks and with the Thunderbird, right?
Nope.
Who got it with the Thunderbird?
I don't think he got it with the Thunderbird.
No?
I know he got it with the trucks. I think I'm not sure who got it with the Thunderbird, but it wasn't Anthony.
Was it Randy?
No.
Was it Eric?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember who it was now.
Me either.
But yeah, he got it there, and then we went out. Like I said, I had the very next heat. He ran 3 cars that night, and I was going to run 2, and we went out in what they call the old rules class, which was Total Destruction's old rules.
Stock compacts, to interrupt there. Mike Angelo won that. Tommy Goodspeed won stock compacts. James Wright was second. The stock V8 was Anthony Wall with the Mad Dog. The pre-run compacts, you got Mad Dog with the win.
Yeah.
And then the pre-run V8s, Joe Backus was second, and you got Mad Dog and first place with your compact. Kevin Rouse winning the trucks, and Joe Armstrong taking second and got Mad Dog in that. That's Thursday. We'll go through all the full results from Sunday in just a minute. Back to what you were saying.
I got the Mad Dog in the compact. I thought they gave that to Schaefer or somebody. Maybe
it says on the results list that you got it. You got the trophy to match?
No, I don't know. I don't know what happened that night. We got a few of them. Probably call up with a couple of them on last night, but yeah, I went out to the compacts. There was 7 or 8 cars for the I don't know what you want to call it. It was kind of a limited weld class, but it was the old rules class. About the only place I really could have run that car.
Right.
And I knew going out there that it was going to be a few on me, and I already had to win from earlier, so I think that gave me the confidence just to go out there and try to make junk, and luckily I was still running at the end.
It was pushing steam.
Yeah.
It was pretty hot.
Yeah, I lost the radiator in the heat.
And he put the trophy on the dash, Brian, and just backed it up. It says, I'm running with the big cars now. Okay.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. And that Lumina did a nice job. Did a real nice job.
I've taken compacts out a few times full size and done well. So, especially depends on who you're running with, what the track is. That car I ran had a great cage and stuff in it. It was built. Dave Smith's boy Austin built it, and Holden built it, and they did a great job building the car. So I wasn't too worried about it. Other people in the class, I knew there wasn't any, I guess what he calls them ladle heads, but idiots, whatever you want to call them.
Ladle heads.
People that,
because idiots is derogatory.
There you go. But there wasn't anybody in the class that I felt was going to be, not smart about driving, and, so I thought it would be worth a shot going out there and try it. And
upon further review, there was no plates in the Lumina, correct?
Well, it was a Honda. And
no. But right.
So does that mean you got accused for cheating, Jake?
Well, I don't want to go there. there's a difference in opinion, and I'll try to work that out.
I specifically promised Jake when I talked to him on Sunday that we wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
So the
I
first
didn't
thing
know about it.
We just went there.
Know. I mean, it's not like me to pour gas on an open flame.
Right. Right.
Well, congratulations on your week, Jay. Sounds like you had a pretty derby week, man.
But anyway, just to bring up, apologies were made, and there was absolutely nothing out of bounds with that car, and apologies were made, and we'll just leave it at that.
Jerry Madsen coming away with the win in the economy V8 class. Tommy Goodspeed was second. Mad Dog went to Kyle Hunter on Sunday out there in the full-size truck. Joe Armstrong ended up winning that, and Austin Gilbert did a nice job coming away with Mad Dog Award there. The 65 was Jason Rouse. He ended up second place. The V8 feature, that was a great feature. That was the economy V8s. The 11 teen, that was one of the Utter boys, Joey Utter, won that, and I missed who got Mad Dog in that one. It was hard to pick.
I think the Ulrich car did it? The wagon? I might be wrong there.
The 48? Or the black and yellow
Black
one?
and yellow, the metric wagon?
Yeah. It could be. That was Utter. That was the guy that won that. I got multiple pictures of it, but I never wrote it down. Tim Stilson was a candidate for Mad Dog all weekend long.
Yeah.
It was incredible what he was doing with the Jeep Cherokee. He was running the wheels off that thing. That was with the Team Mia colors, decked out in purple, the whole deal. Mia was there, the little girl that was also at San Filippo.
Yep.
And she got to drive the Power Wheels Derby.
Cool.
Her dad rigged up the Power Wheels to run it remote control and basically had a game controller and was driving it like an RC car. So she got to go out there. It was
wow.
It was neat.
It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool. The number 22 ended up winning it, Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson was a great story too. Joe, he had a V6 Silverado, and in the afternoon show, the drive shaft came out of the back, but he could still drive. And you're not allowed four-wheel drive, so he was sent back to the pits. One of the officials spoke up and said that I checked the truck. It didn't have four-wheel drive when he came through tech inspection. The rear drive shaft was just wired in place. Still, the drive shaft was spinning as fast as the back of the transmission, so he had to park it, get the drive shaft pulled out, and then he came back out. So he wasn't disqualified for four-wheel drive, which was initially what it seemed like the call was, because when that drive shaft spit out, he still had front-wheel drive. And it wasn't the case. He was definitely Monica Birdsell got the Mad Dog Award in the
that was well
V8s.
earned too.
She drove a nice job. So he came back and turned on and won the thing. So that was a good storyline there. And then Pete Hansen winning in the limited weld V8 class at the end of the night. Mike Green got the Mad Dog Award in that. The fair built the Dixon Memorial Trophy.
That was a trophy to win right there.
And that was awesome. It had pistons and valves all welded together and flywheels and brake rotors and stuff. It was a gorgeous trophy. And he won that, and he was pretty moved to win that, and he'd earned it. And Hansen, it was an important win for him too. It was the first time that he'd gotten in victory lane since the passing of his dad. And then they got the memorial coming up right on the same day as
Norwich. Yeah, it's
Norwich.
I think 1 o'clock on next Sunday.
So that was an important thing. Again, it looked like there was something that hiccuped at the beginning of the show. Just to make mention, Randy McCraby recovering well after he had whacked his head in the Avalon. He was complaining of a headache in the afternoon. And
What happened? He ran it in the first class. He was in the afternoon class, and I know he got jostled around in it pretty good, but he didn't make the cutoff. So he went out in the Consi in the late show, and just one of those things. He went down the track. I took it one in the driver's side. It looked like the door from where I was, and then I watched the video later on, and it wasn't. It was a clean shot. Nice, just good clean fender shot, and I think he hit his head off the pillar, and he was pretty much out at that point. But the car rolled forward, and at the same time, another car was coming down from the other end of the track and just full tracked him in the passenger side, and he just disappeared like a rag doll. He's just gone. The officials were right on top of it. They seen it. They got everything stopped. And
he was pretty woozy there, but looks like he's going to make a full recovery, and he's getting a lot of his memory back.
We were able to convince him to go to the hospital, and he's checked out, and he's got some memory loss.
At that point, you were a stranger talking to him to go to the hospital.
I really believe when I first talked to him that I don't think he even knew who I was.
Yeah.
He didn't know what car he drove. He thought he was at a different track with a different car. Other friends were there. He didn't recognize them, so it was kind of scary there for a minute. But he's doing a lot better now, and he did not want to get out of the car, and he finished out the heat.
And he almost qualified.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree with the decision, but it wasn't mine to make. It was his and the tech or the EMS people. They gave him the green light. He wasn't going to get out anyway. He probably would have had to twist his head up just to get him out.
Right.
Probably hurt him worse. But if you know Randy, he's stubborn and he's a tough guy, man. He's definitely going to do well. I think he's really fallen into it. He's had a couple good runs this year already, and I think he's going to fall in.
That's good. Again, we just want to circle back to a topic that we may have missed at the beginning. Again, our thoughts with the family of Jacqueline O'Connor, the 11-year-old who, with all the allegations going around, that a member of her family had drugged, abused, and then killed her, which is horrible. There was a couple tribute vehicles that were there in Otsego County. That's something that left a big mark on the community, so it's something that we wanted to make sure that we mentioned. Tyler Kopp having the car that won Best Appearing Paint in a landslide. Usually it comes down where you gotta go back and forth and test between 3 or 4 different cars.
Oh yeah.
Nobody even brought cars out. The only other vehicles were out there that was the minor car that had Minions all over, or excuse me, Paw Patrol all over it, and then a truck that was also dedicated to her memory. Tyler took that car to a local school and had a bunch of memorials written on it. A bunch of people hopped the fence and put their own memorials on it at Otsego County. And usually at that Best Appearing Paint deal, you got to pick 3 and go back and forth and everything. It wasn't even close, and he won that, so that was cool. And then Spinning Wheels hit their goal of raising $2,300 or $2,400 for it was Jake Weedman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he had the fire and lost everything, lost his Morris car. FTR put a car together for him, and he ended up driving deep into the feature, qualified with it, and then they won. I'm not sure, I don't remember who, but somehow Jake was involved, the person that won the raffle car, and they gave the raffle car back to Kyle Hunter, or excuse me, Kyle Spear.
Yep.
And Kyle Spear drove drove the wheels off it. He and Bolton had a great battle in the compacts. They were just trading shots.
I thought Dan Bolton retired.
We saw him during the Power Wheels, and we asked him when he put a for sale sign on Brenna's Power Wheels if Brenna got the money or if he kept it.
I just wondering how that works.
Well,
retired, and then he's,
Well, that's kind of how everything works, I'm always joking around, too. I've been, 22 years now I've been running, and I've run full-size the whole time until, the last couple of years. I'm known as the compact guy, Where Dan, he started off running compacts back, in the 90s.
Before compacts were cool.
Yeah. But if you ask anybody about Dan Bolton, he's known as the truck guy because what's Dan run the last 3-4 years is trucks.
Yep.
So
the same truck.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. To see him back in the compact was great. I really wish I knew he was going to show up with something. I would have definitely put something together just to run against him one more time. And
he's hooked.
I'm sure there'll be more opportunities.
He had a Honda Accord, I think.
No, that was a Focus, I think.
He had a Honda logo on the back, I thought. Am I wrong?
Bolton?
Yeah.
It looked like a Focus to me, but
maybe.
If it wasn't a Accord, it was probably...
I'm not up on my compacts, and I never said that I was.
I could be wrong there. But
I've been wrong. I was wrong all weekend trying to trade the full size stuff. I thought I was doing pretty good. The compacts, I was missing the boat a bunch of times. But that's why they say I suck. Is what it is. Send the hate mail. You can direct right to Facebook. Joining us in the studio, I know you're on a tight schedule, and you got to get out of here. Joining us for first appearance on the Crash Course. Got a chance to tour Buffalo, and now made the rest of the trip out to the Finger Lakes after getting to see Erie a little bit yesterday. Dakota Papsun. We got Pete Hansen will be up here in just a few minutes. I know you got a 4 or 5 hour ride back home, and you got your little one with you. But appreciate you making the trip up.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate me.
So tell us a little bit about what your season's going to hold this year. I know your derby plans have been put on hiatus a little bit with some plans this weekend.
Yeah, I'm getting married this weekend. My plans, might get a car together by the end of the year. We got some late shows like our Battle at the Border by Derby Dog Productions, and stuff like that. But
you run a lot of Derby Dog shows, right?
Yeah, Derby Dog. Our hometown show for the years was Nationwide, and Derby Dog. They took it over, Crawford, and I have more fun helping out, clean the track, and a guy down our way, Bumper Boy, he's known to clean up the tracks. And, I enjoy that more than last year. I was at our hometown fair, and I own a salvage yard too. So I was buying the stock cars up afterwards. Some guys wanted to sell them, So but we're going to see what's in store. We're going to try to get something together.
So when you have a salvage yard, do you take the cars that you build, that you buy at the track, and then weld them up and run them again?
Lend them out, maybe.
Lend them out.
It depends. Sometimes
I can see where you can make enemies doing that.
Yeah, I've heard tales of a guy that did that.
Yeah, that's right.
Took 2 or 3 cars to the state fair and took it back to Erie County and pulled the roofs up on them, and they ran a few different places. Can't remember who that was, though.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. That's for
See,
sure.
that's never really bothered me. Well, I know there's one guys that have been super paranoid. I remember some guys from Walton years ago. I mean, they would literally cut their car into like 3-foot chunks before they took it there, and then they would wait after they got unloaded and watch them squash them before they would leave. I don't think anybody really wants to step into my junk, so I just I just leave it there, and
When I get done with mine, there isn't anything left to run. So.
That is not true. There is still plenty left of that Cordoba that you're going to save and run in the fall.
Yes, I'm not done with that, though.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not done with that. When I get done with it, it's junk.
I figured you were going to let your boy run it.
Hopefully San Filippo. That is my goal.
Oh, nice.
There's an excellent cleanup show up here. The Ellisons put on. But,
I seen that was on the same day.
It's on the same day,
and it wouldn't have been. Again, we've hit on this a bunch of times. We want to make sure that there's no misconceptions on hard feelings. Jeremy's daughter's getting married the week that it was supposed to be.
Yes, yeah,
because he wanted to have some time between everything. Because Wheel Days is on the 20th, and then the 27th is both the Ellisons cleanup show at Paradise and Gully's show, and Gully's would have been that first week of October.
So I'm. Jeremy's done a lot of great things for me. I mean, he hooked us up last year with Giants tickets, so and it's for a great cause. So I really want to go down there and try to support him at that.
Got to tell you better tighten down your chin strap. I tell you, last year I didn't run. I don't know. Most people don't. I got some chronic back issues or whatever, and unfortunately, it takes me out of the hunt once in a while. And so we just took a bunch of cars down. I think we had 8 cars there total for everybody else to run. They're all compacts, and. I didn't run, but I sat there on the stage, and I was cringing. I grew up in Walton, Delaware County, and watched that show. And I tell you, I got to believe last year San Filippo was probably one of the hardest shows I've ever seen. There was times where I was just cringing, thinking, man, things are coming apart here. It was an incredible show.
As long as there's loaders to put cars on there, or something to put my car in the trailer with afterwards, I don't.
And they had a couple loaders, a couple skid steers doing that and whatever. And
that's my only worry going down there. As long as I can get the car back.
Amazing action. And I think what it was is it was all for fun for most part, and it took a lot of the
pressure.
A lot of the pressure, and it was just about making junk that day, and man, it was junk made. I mean, just insane shots.
Is that the same way that the fall show is with Derby Dogs? A lot of the pressure off, everybody just goes and runs to clean things up.
What, like a cleanup show?
That fall show that you're talking about with Derby Dogs, is that a fresh show or is that a cleanup type deal?
I mean, I think last year they had like a couple hundred cars there. I mean, it was a huge show. I mean, I could be wrong, but there's a lot of fresh cars there. I mean, we had guys come, like Steven Sickles, he runs the compacts. Mm-hmm. He came up from, southern Pennsylvania up to Ohio and ran. It's Ashtabula is where they do it.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people come around, to do that show. But might go out there this year. We'll see.
Is that really where you spend most of your time, in the compacts?
Yeah, you can find them a little better. I mean, I've run big cars. I got a couple, but it's all in the time too. Of building a car and stuff, and with basically 2 jobs and owning my own junkyard, it's kind of.
You have 2 jobs tight. Plus your own junkyard?
Well, no, my junkyard, another job. I work for my grandfather in a truck garage, and then I do my junkyard. And
how big's the yard?
About 200 cars in there.
And just between us, what's the address?
Come on down. Just follow I-79 south, exit 141. I'll hook you up. But yeah, we also have our own little, some of the scrap ones. We have our own little field race up my house and stuff too. And we just had my bachelor party last weekend, and we had our own backyard derby and field race, and had one hell of a time. I mean, ended up blowing one car up with tannerite, and it was on fire.
That's awesome. Chris, I think you should do that at the New Year's Eve party.
We got to get. At least we'll do it remotely. We'll videotape it down there. When they do it, we'll play it. I don't think Holiday will be really down with that.
That's all right. Well, listen. We'll take up and set it on.
Wait.
Hang on. Supply the car. I mean,
hang on. I believe you would too. I remember once getting some sage advice that it's easier to get forgiveness than it is permission. Right?
Exactly. So this is what we do. Listen, we're probably only like 1,000 meters maybe from the dump. So we'll set a car on top of that with spotlights on it.
Okay.
And then you just need. I mean, we got some guys.
I'm not against this idea right now.
We have some guys that will probably be at this party who are in the military. Chances are they're probably pretty good shots. So you give them a nice high-powered rifle.
I've already got one guy in mind.
Something will reach out their ways and tannerite that thing. Would that not be the most incredible way to bring in New Year's Eve 2018? I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yep, it would be the best way to send 2017 out, bring 2018 in, and get on a first name basis with several police officers.
We're good.
Remember that one time TSA asked to see your shield when you showed them? They go, "Oh, you're a corrections officer."
Yeah. Yeah, but this is hometown. I could probably get us right out of trouble there.
Well, I don't know. The ATF was called to not far from a local derby driver down in Owegos last year, and it made national news. This explosion they had down there involving tannerite in the vehicle. So
really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So when you say just off I-79, you mean a ways off, like so that we're not going to have to worry about ATF agents off 79?
Well, my yard's right off 79. But
okay.
My house up the road, it's a big field, and there's an industrial park back there. No one will know what we're doing up there.
Okay, I like the sounds of that. This sounds.
Where I got my racetrack up there, it's quite the area. So
that's awesome.
You want to come down? We're doing it in October, so
has its own racetrack.
Our own fall show. So. There you go, Chris. Go jump in a compact. What's the worst thing could happen?
I got a short list. Short list of things. I'm glad you can make the trip. What's more stressful, running demolition derby cars, running a junkyard, or planning a wedding?
No.
The right answer is clear.
yeah, definitely the right answer is clear.
Kind of with this wedding, when I'm told to do something, I do it.
Perfect. That's the right answer. That is the rule to have in planning a wedding. Just say yes.
That's it.
Yeah, say yes.
I just got to show up, right? And that's kind of the, I think that's how it went with mine.
Out for you. It's everything.
Your one job is to make sure you're not late.
My wife did everything, and I just made sure that I was there that day.
Were you sober for the ceremony?
I don't know how much. I got kicked out of my own wedding. My wife's sitting right behind us, so I think I'm just gonna leave that there. But hey, I was removed from my own wedding. So
wow, good for you.
It was a good day. It was a good night.
Our priest specifically said that if he smells alcohol on anybody, it's a no-go.
Was it a Catholic wedding?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, really.
Wow.
When we showed up with 3 C bodies out in front with glass backs on all of them, I don't know if that helped or hurt the cause of. But he wasn't running breathalyzers either. So
when I got married, I figured, okay, now most toothpaste has like a minty or some sort of smell. So
you did not. Mint schnapps?
Peppermint schnapps.
Oh.
We drank Rumpelmints.
Rumpelmints. I was going to say, not just schnapps. I bet it was Rumpelmints.
Rumpelmints in the freezer, so it was just like a nice, cool.
It makes my stomach just churn thinking about it.
Yeah. We killed the bottle before our wedding. I had a big wedding party, though. It wasn't hard to kill a bottle.
I had a local judge who was a friend of mine. We asked him to do it. He doesn't normally do weddings, and it was literally, I think our ceremony, if it was 2 minutes, I'd be surprised.
In high school.
It was really a do you, yep, do you, yeah, okay, let's party. And boy, did we.
In high school, my brother went through the process for some unknown reason. Went through the process and got ordained as the Reverend Lucky of this First Mount Hope Faith Church. It's an online church or something. And he got in trouble when he was in study hall, when he was performing, he was taking confession and tried to perform a wedding in one of the study halls. It was bad.
Nice. Did it see the humor?
Nope. None at all. None at all.
My wife back here, she's ordained. She do, if anybody wants to get, hooked up or whatever, she just waves her hand and signs the paperwork and game on.
Look at that.
What's that?
Look at that.
Take care of that. It'd be the first wedding right now on live stream.
It would be.
We got a few minutes.
We don't have. We only got half of the people needed.
We can call her up. She can do it over the phone.
But if you feel particularly inspired by your wedding and you want to renew your vows in October, or you need to get married again in October, we could just have Robin come down and do it at the race.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
There's no good thing you can say. Just smile and nod. There's no good answer here.
It's a good thing you came up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, just think, you got all the way home to let your blood pressure go back to normal. You'll be all right when you get there.
Yeah. We do it out of love.
We'll be all right. Got a long drive down.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you're not mad at us. Otherwise you won't make the 5-hour drive back.
We call him the legendary Pete Hansen.
Only if he picks up. He wanted to come up, but he's got all the kids tonight by himself.
Ooh.
He said, you can call for a few minutes, but I can't promise I'll be on the phone long. I know. That start, Yo, you ready? Hey, let me put you in.
Cleaning up the baby. I just got done feeding her macaroni and cheese.
So you're gonna make Robbie hold the baby while you talk on the phone?
No, Robbie bailed on me.
Oh no. That's not good.
He said, Dad, I'm going to my buddy C. He got on his 4-wheeler and took right off. He never even ate dinner or nothing.
Man, where's Melanie tonight?
So, what's that?
Where's Melanie?
Jeremy?
No, Melanie, your wife, the important one.
Oh, the wife?
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't hear him.
Hang on. He's wanting to know where Melanie is, where your wife is.
She hasn't taken care of the girls?
We had more bad news. Her mother, let's see, when we run the Derby? Sunday, well, late Saturday night, she had a heart attack. Thank God she's all right, and she just got released and come home today, this afternoon. So we've had nothing but bad luck.
Yeah.
And what we learned from this is, thankfully, that she's okay, is that we're not going to make the mother-in-law weld on our wagons anymore.
No, mother-in-law never cared for what son-in-law did. So,
but
took too much time away from the wife, and she made that notice many times. She'd poke at me,
But son-in-law's dad certainly liked it, and while he was busy filling out paperwork in heaven when you're at Seneca County, he decided to come down and ride with you Sunday, huh?
Yeah, for sure. So that was about time he got done doing paperwork. Right before I went out, it was kind of funny. I says, "You done being scared of riding in a real car and want to ride with me this time, or what?" So
take us through that feature.
He manned up and jumped in there with me, and we made her happen.
Ryan Ostrander, Mark Zaccardi, the Williams boys. Not meaning to leave anybody. Chad Winnie had his Imperial that he had restubbed from the Ames forward with a 67. He had a 65 boxcar and then put 67, 68 front end on it. Nice. Butt welded, which is allowed, and then he found a perfect place to put his fix-it plate. Yeah. So that thing was super hard in the front, and then Greeny was there, like Green. So Pete, take us through that feature if we still got you.
Well, it's funny that you say, I'm sitting there in the lineup, and we're all friends. The whole lineup pretty much. And there were some young kids which, have a lot of respect for, stepping down into a field of drivers like that at 16 and 17 years old. And of course, back in the day, we didn't have cars coming on the track built like that. We stepped into it, but we stepped into a stock built car, you know what I mean? And these kids are coming out, and they're the only I think upstep they got from us old guys is they got ambition. So another year or two, they're going to be scary.
You should have seen. I seen some pictures that come out of their shop.
Just starting
the night before. They pretty much from Wayne County to that night. They rebuilt the entire front end of that car. Did you remember what it seemed like? You were there, Pete, on a Wayne County.
They were junk.
Yeah, they
were junk.
I mean, they like in one day completely rebuilt a weld car.
It's crazy. But, so, I'm sitting there thinking, and, all right, Mike Green, Chad Winnie, Mike works for Chad, and I says, I know how this is going to go. But, on the other hand, I'm thinking, well, I got Mark Zaccardi, I think he'll kind of run with me, and Ryan Ostrander, I think, will run with me, so,
the Ingrams.
But I don't know who Chad and Mike have politicked with. So I'm like, nobody did no politicking, though. It was kind of everybody just didn't say nothing, and we went out there, and I'm always that guy, just see what happens. And sure enough, you know, nobody really messed with me. I mean, they poked me here a little bit or a little bit here, but, I mean, they kind of just let me run the race, and I was kind of surprised.
Yep. Sean Ingram and it was Mike Ingram, right?
I think so.
Sean and Mike Ingram, they had hard cars out there. Unfortunately, Bob Dixon didn't get a chance to run, which I would have loved to seen him out there. That would have been a heck of a show. Pete, it got down the last little bit. You backed it up. You sent it a couple times, and then you backed it up and you waited. You put it in park, and when the checkers flew, Josh was right there in the window with a microphone in your face. And you know when it's a good derby, Josh turns into the same 5, 6, 7-year-old that he's always been watching the grandstands, just excited as anything. Did you want to talk at that point, or did you want a couple of minutes just to collect your thoughts?
Be honest with you, I had no idea what I really wanted to do. I mean, you know, it's hard for me to even talk about it, to be honest with you, because it just tears me up every time I think about it.
Sure.
But, you know, it don't matter when it is. It's just way too early, you know, and
right.
It's hard to cope with, for sure, you know, with what's going on, but we, whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. You know, I'm not the guy to sugarcoat anything. I promise you. You know, I'd give anything to have him back.
So Pete, do you think you're going to be able to get another run or two out of the wagon, or?
Oh God, yeah, for sure. I'd like to sell it. You know, I don't. I mean, it's a good car. It's a quality car by no means, you know, for sure. But I would love to sell the darn thing to somebody. But you know, I put it out there with no rear end, no motor, no transmission. Leave the spindles and all that stuff onto it. Bumpers. And I told them, you know, $4,000, which I thought was a pretty good deal.
In the market, Dakota?
Not with the wedding coming up Saturday.
I was going to offer you like $750 as it sat, but I guess it's out of my price range.
Oh, you're just cheap all the time.
We can start a live auction right now.
Yeah.
Starting bids? Anybody?
If we pooled all our money and
if it doesn't hit reserve, we're going to move that on to Bid Goes On later on off the air after the show ends.
There you go. There you go. Call in, people.
No, you looked strong all the way through the feature. Pete, was there anything there that concerned you? I mean, I know from where I was sitting, you know, in the stands, Zaccardi was looking real good towards the end. I'm not sure. I didn't get to talk to him and see what happened with his car. His car still looked good.
He was concerned when the motor got over 100 degrees.
Yeah,
right. No,
but
actually, that car has been just cursed. I mean, 3 transmissions. Every time I went out, it broke steering, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this will last a minute or two, and something will happen for sure. You know, I just lost all faith in the car. And every time I mean, if anybody's ever looked at any of my cars, I got the best money can buy. I mean, Ski Ink, everything, Brian Nair had everything, Postal Mopar, Joker spindles. I mean, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, why does this stuff break, you know? And everybody else can run and never have an issue. Me, I can't get 5 minutes without breaking anything.
And I got to say that's about you, Pete. Somebody that runs at the level that you run, I was more than pleased or surprised a couple of times that I seen you and I asked to look at your car, and you've always been more than willing to do that. Most people at your level don't like to show their stuff off. And not only does he show me, or as he showed me in the past, is he explains why you put this here, why I did that there. And there's not a lot of people that run, you know, like I said, at Pete's level that'll get down and talk to people like that and explain what they do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole deal with every kid that the Williams boys there, they came. I met them at the Wayne County Fair there and started talking to them a little bit. And I told them, you ever, you know, get my number, Facebook me, whatever. You got any questions, I'll help you from start to finish. Because, and I said this to a lot of drivers over the years, and I've helped a ton of drivers. And I said to them, I said, you can build the same exact car as I can, and it don't matter to me. I'll help anybody, because in my heart, I believe that I can outdrive the next guy. You know, and guess what? I've learned I can't sometimes, but, you know, you have that confidence in yourself that no matter how much you help the other guy, you hope you can outdrive him. You know, I mean, Jeremy Gully's a great instance. You know, he built right in my shop, side by side, taught him about pressures, taught him about different things that he never knew about. You know, and we get on the same track. I mean, yeah, he broke my tire out in, but I still finished better than he did.
Yeah, getting back
talking about that all the time.
Getting back to that, Pete, up the Waterloo you're talking about there, you broke steering early there, but you were able to still fight it down to the end. Similar thing happened down in Wayne counties. You broke the steering pretty early. Do you think it was just the different track conditions? Because once you broke down there, it was really hard for you to get around.
It was not Jeremy Gully breaking.
Now, when I broke at Waterloo, it was just a tire rod end, and it wasn't. You know, you could still. I mean, you couldn't maneuver the car near as good as you should have, but it was still somewhat. You could learn. You had to learn quick. You had to pick up quick what you could do and how you could make it work. At Wayne County, it broke right off the steering box, and you had, at least, you know, at Waterloo, I had control of one tire yet.
Okay.
There, I didn't have no control, so it made it hard. And the track conditions were, I expected very wet, muddy, and it ended up being a drier, stickier track, and I ran the wrong tire, so it made it hard to handle the car for sure. And at Morris, the track was a little slicker, and the car handled 10 times better, I believe. You know, the wagon's so darn heavy that when the track's dry, I think it just puts too much pressure on all the steering components, the transmissions, you know, and you get it a little slick. It's just easier on everything. I mean, everything stayed cool. Everything worked great. Waterloo, that would have been all right if we didn't break and really had to push a tire through that. I don't know what a stone dust stuff they had up there.
Yeah,
but it's just
surface.
Every track's so much different from the next that it's hard to prepare for them. You know, and then, you know, a rodeo comes in or something comes in, they add something to the track, so now you don't even know anything about the track, even though you ran there your whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they change it up so much, the fairs, the county fairs, for all the new events they're bringing in.
It's funny. Pete, you know, goes tires by the conditions, and I go by tires by their round and whole air. I mean,
yeah, right.
It's true. We got to know that from your circle track stuff.
Oh,
you know?
He's got a
Guys
trailer.
would come down the day or a couple hours before and check how high the river was.
Yeah.
And knew what kind of tractor they're going to run.
He's got a tire the same way the late model guys used to, with open tire rule.
Yeah.
Stack a trailer just for tires.
no kidding.
Well, I shouldn't get into
Pete-
that. I wonder how that worked out for Winnie this weekend, bringing extra tires.
Pete, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us for a little while. It's always good to hear from you. I wish you the best on the memorial that's scheduled for your dad coming up. And again, by all means, congratulations on the win. It was good to see that all come together for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, next year we're going with a whole new. Oh, here goes the baby crying. Yep. Well, mommy ain't home to yell, right? But no, I'm going back to the economy stock.
Awesome.
No, you're not.
My boy will be 16, so we'll come up and we'll beat on Brian and
Get a
Jason
good run.
Sherman and all them stock guys, Brett Rallier. We'll come up there and try to see if we can junk them.
That'll be fun.
Awesome.
There would be, in all seriousness, and I told Pete this at your house, I would love to run on a track with Pete Hansen, because I've been beat by nobodies. I've been beat by guys that have never won anything in their life.
Cute hate mail.
If it comes down to me and Pete Hansen at the end of a feature and I lose, what's the big deal? But if I win,
You still lose, so you go have to competitive.
But
drive.
if I
that's
win-
why Pete wins and you come in second.
that's all right. I'll take a second to Pete Hansen any day. I got no issue with
Man.
that.
No, your
we gotta-
boy had a great run too down there to Wayne County. He got pretty deep. What was it, second or third?
Yeah. Yeah, he ended up, he tied kind of for third. I mean, he made the last hit, but the other car was still running. They got hung up, and they couldn't get loose, and it is what it is. But, I mean, that happens in the Derby world. And the funniest part is when we got there, we had the Rule B, and I had the K member tied into the front plate to hold the bumper, and somebody, I don't know what tech guy, painted it, and I thought my kid was going to come unglued. He was like, Dad, we got to cut. Dad, what are we going to do? He says, relax, Bubba, that's normal. You'll get used to that being working with me. He says, come on.
Definitely so.
Cutting, you're not competing.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, we got to catch up. We're going to catch up with Joe Armstrong. We got Leanne Rumsey coming up a little bit later on, too. So we're going to take a quick break and do that. Pete, again, congratulations, man. Appreciate you making some time. I know you got a busy night on your hands.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. You guys
Thanks,
have
Pete.
a great night.
We'll
Nice
see you later
talking
on.
to you.
There goes Pete Hansen, winner of that Limited Wells V8 class out there at Morris. Did we go through all the Sunday winners out there yet?
I think we hit on them, but I don't remember if we went them all.
I think we hit on all of them too. Yeah. We'll work on some read-throughs quick and find that out, and then we'll get Joe Armstrong on the line as well. We're going to start with this one here. Spinning Wheels Productions, that was who was in charge of the Otsego County Fair this weekend. They've got one more fair that they've got to do, GDS Fair in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania on the 25th of August, and then from there they're going to move on to the San Filippo Smash. It's an all-comers derby. There's plenty of classes for everybody. Yeah, we hit on all those winners. We did all those. All-Comers Derby, there's tons of giveaways. They're drawing for a diver performance engine, compacts, trucks, spinning wheels, limited weld rules, all to benefit MST3A research and help two great families, Team Mia and Team Martin. You can find out more about it at spinningwheelsproductions.com. Marco Passamato ended up winning the trucks on a last-second hit in the afternoon session. We forgot about him.
Yes.
He hit that other wagon. His van was torn to pieces. The starter twisted out of it or something, was just click, and Marco was able to start up just enough to come in, make contact, caught on fire. That was the end of the derby, and that was his win, so that was cool. Good way to end the afternoon session up there at the Otsego County Fair. Another upcoming event that we want to make everybody aware of. It's on the opposite side of the country, though. Stern Dirt Racing. They've got a couple of them coming up in September. September the 9th is the West Jordan Beatdown. Iron Trucks, Farm Trucks, Passenger Derby. $30,000 purse there. West Jordan, Utah. September the 16th is a day of reckoning. That's at that all-new State Fair facility in Salt Lake City. Holds 8,500, 10,000 seats, something insane. It's an enormous coliseum. It's bigger than what we saw when we were in Ogden for May Mania. May Mania registration is going to open at the beginning of November. And October 7th, Halloween Havoc. That's going to be the Run What You Brung event. There's 4 divisions. Bring it. We'll find someplace for you to run. Online, sterndirtracing.com. Pit party in conjunction with Halloween Havoc, and that is also going to be at that new arena in Salt Lake City. Brookfield Wheel Days. We saw John King over the weekend. He was down there in Morris passing out his flyers. We're going to be live streaming that event on September the 23rd from the Madison County Fairgrounds. King Smash from Crash from Demolition Derbies hosts the annual Fall Cleanup Show at the Madison County Fairgrounds. The show's been part of our schedule dating back to 2011. It's always a hard-hitting show. They got the weld cars there. They'll have 160, 170 cars in the pits. 315-750-6956 for John King. Jump online, King Smash from Crash on Facebook. If you just throw it into Google, you can track them down as well. And that is part of a busy month for us. We're going to be live streaming that one. We're going to be and if we can do it, and all the technology falls in line, which I don't think it's going to, we're going to try with San Filippo. And before that, on the 9th of September, we're going to be at the Lake Erie Rumble. We're going to be live streaming that one as well. So that's part of a very busy September for us. Upcoming events for Smash It Demolition Derbies. Proud to be partnering with them for the 2017 season. On August the 10th, they're going to be in Athens County, Athens, Ohio. Leaf Class, Mini Cars, Street Stocks, Power Wheels. August 11th, the Champaign County Fair in Urbana, Urbana, Ohio. Smash It Class, Any Year Wire Class, Mini Cars, full-size trucks, compact trucks, Smash It Mowers, Power Wheels. It's a busy night in Urbana. August the 12th is the Ross County Fair in Chillicothe, Ohio. Mild Weld, Mini Cars, Street Stocks, Power Wheels, full-size trucks, lawn stock mowers, and Power Wheels. August the 14th is Meeks County Fair in Pomeroy, Ohio. Leaf Class, Mini Cars, Street Stock, Smash It Mowers, Power Wheels on the schedule. August 17th is the Henry County Fair in Napoleon, Ohio. Smash It Class, Street Stocks, Mini Cars, Wire Compacts, full-size trucks, lawn stock mowers, Power Wheels, Smash It Demolition Derbies online, smashitderby.com. We got a couple of our local guys, well, local relatively speaking, Western New York, that are getting ready to make the trip out to Sandusky for the Erie County Fair coming up this weekend. Excited to have some of our logos on their cars. Eric Remington, Two Speed, and Alan McNeil all looking to make the trek out to Sandusky for that 3-man compact show. So excited and we wish them the best of luck. And before we do that, we should get back another one of Smash It's events, working on Blizzard Bash 2017 online, blizzardbash.com, November 8th through the 12th at the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. Thursday, the 9th of November, 4 o'clock start time, national and qualifying bracket, round 1. Friday the 10th is 9 o'clock. It's the RC Derby. At 6 o'clock, it's the national and qualifying team round 2, 14 and 17-year-old youth division also on the card for that one. Saturday, November the 11th, that's the twin bill, 10 o'clock start for the compact and limited world teams. Their first rounds go off at 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock start time for the Power Wheels, all the Team B mains, the trucks, the youth, and the bone stocks. Filling out that card. Championship Sunday is November the 12th, 1 o'clock start for that one. National qualifying, limited weld, and compact team A mains for that one. And looking into October the 21st is the 2017 edition of Chaos in the Valley. The fall show will be back down in Shenandoah Valley with Jason and Penny Shipe and the Toms Brook Volunteer Fire Department. This show is always a home run. It's a sweet program. The class is now open to Imperials and hearses. The card includes the compact division, the stock division, weld class, trucks and vans. Jason Shipe is the guy you want to talk to. 540-335-7510. It's at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds in Woodstock, Virginia. Chaos in the Valley. We're going to be back down there again at the end of this month for their fair show, which is backed up a day from last year. The stock night is going to be on Sunday at the end of the month, and that's going to be on the 27th, and then the weld night is going to be on Monday the 28th. So worst case scenario, we'll just go in the lobby of the hotel and do the Monday night show before the Derby starts for crash course. And then Signal last year when we got out there for the fair was atrocious, and then in the fall there was none. So we're planning on trying that one again and seeing what happens. We'll roll the dice and see where the cards fall and see if we can make that one happen. But we're going to get the one and only Joe Armstrong on the line here momentarily to talk a little bit more about Morris and what his night was like. Second place on Thursday, and then he picked up a win after Tom Van Wormer passed away unexpectedly Saturday, which was it hit that family hard. But boy, did they rally well with that win. He drove the wheels off of that Suburban.
How's the crowd down there for Morris?
Packed. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good. I saw a lot of positive stuff afterwards on Facebook. I saw a lot of guys were happy with how stuff was run. So,
yeah, I think so. I didn't hear. Like I said, I ran Thursday. Didn't have hear too much for complaints, and same thing on Sunday. I didn't really hear anything awesome either. So that's great to have. And Jeremy's willing to make changes and do things. If he always willing to admit if he makes a mistake or an error or anything, and that's great.
Jeremy's definitely good for the sport.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, we've got Joe Armstrong joining us now on the hotline. Joe, congratulations on that win. I know that was a special one for you over there at Morris.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much. It meant a lot to me and my family. Glad I was able to make it happen.
Take me through what that feature was like. It was the trucks there. They're not light trucks in any way, and there was some junk being made out there. The back end looked like it was holding together for you, and you were able to park at Victory Lane.
Yeah, I was actually surprised as well as it held up. I'd never run a truck before, and I had spoke to Jeremy Goley a couple times on the phone, and he gave me a couple little hints to do because I was actually very blind to what I was doing because I'm used to running V8s and compacts. So he showed me a couple little things, and just one little thing in the rear he showed me made it 100 times better than what I ever thought it was going to be.
3/4 inch plate from the back seat to the tailgate.
That'd work.
Was that the trick, or did he show you something different?
I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you guys.
All right. Come on, Chris.
I didn't change anything from the last one.
Is this your first day on the
job
or what?
It is. That's why I suck. It is. Getting your ears better now?
A little bit. It sounds like you're talking through a tunnel.
We're on our way to chaos
the old
now.
way.
Yeah, we've done this old school.
We'll do this the old way. How about now? Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
All right.
There you go.
Look at that. Just like that.
We've done this before.
We were joking that the tip that Jeremy gave you was putting 3/4 inch plate from the back seat all the way to the tailgate. Was that the tip, or was it something different?
Guess that.
Nope, I didn't put any of that in there.
No, okay. All right, well, it's just a guess. Jeremy can build heavy stuff. You know that.
Yep, oh yeah.
Delbert Dewey had a great ride out there. Austin Glidden, he had a good run going. Did you think at all? I mean, was there a point where you looked around and you saw there was only 3 trucks left where, holy cow, this thing might actually come to pass and work out?
Well, to be honest with you, I was pretty much focused on 2 people out there. And after I was done with those, I looked around and I seen Rouse and his Ford, and then I seen that Dodge Durango, and I was like, wow, I can't even believe it happened that fast. I mean, I was looking for Curtis at the end out of anybody, you know. I figured his truck would have been there. I mean, that truck's pretty built. I never thought in a million years I'd have a chance against that.
Yeah,
but,
Anthony Curtis for the 43.
I seen it came down to me and Rouse, and I was like, wow, I think I got a pretty good chance here.
Don't take anything away from that Rouse truck.
Oh,
that truck is insane. When Thursday night,
it is.
He backed up. He wasn't even getting hit, I don't think. He backed up and he cracked one of the jersey barriers so hard that they had to remove the section that broke. It broke the flagpole, and the flagpole fell down on the firefighters. And they had to,
he was getting ready to square up with me.
It was nuts.
Wow.
And
I know.
Those guys ended up winning that derby.
What's that?
Those guys ended up winning that derby, and you were second.
Yep. I took second in Mad Dog Thursday night.
And
it was a good night.
That truck was scary. Like you talk about, why don't you ride passenger? Why don't you ride passenger? I'm smart enough to know that would have not been the truck to ride passenger in. Yeah. That Rouse truck was nuts.
That passenger derby.
Those guys made a great build on that truck. I mean, that thing's hard.
You're going to see it again. Are you going to run that Suburban again?
Oh, absolutely. I drove that thing on the trailer, and I never even bet anything past where it bet Thursday night, so she's good to go. I ain't even going to tinker on it. I'm going to back it back off the trailer at the next show and send it.
You going to go to wheel days, or are you going to save it for San Filippo, or is there enough truck there to run both?
Probably enough to run both, but I'm hoping to definitely run it at San Filippo.
Good deal.
I'm going to let my brother-in-law run it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Who's that?
Because obviously it's in
Cody?
Memory of his dad, so I figured I'd let him run it. He's never run a derby before. He actually rode with me tonight, and he loved it. So I'm going to let him run that at San Filippo, and we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm just going to build a fresh one if I have to.
A lot of emotions inside that truck when the checkered flag flew over it, huh?
Absolutely. It was amazing. We both teared up and gave each other a hug, and couldn't believe it happened that way, but we believe he was with us. So
it was. Otsego County was a busy place.
No doubt.
Yeah.
It's keeping everything positive. It's always
the microphone out of his hand before he was even handing it.
keeping it positive, Joe. It's always nice to take the W when you're out there to prove a point, and maybe somebody had a lot of things to say before the show, and it's always nice to come out on top after that happens, isn't it?
You ever do that?
And then
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He was just talking about how meaningful that win is, not just for the element of Tom Van Wormer, but also for the element that there were some people that had said some things to you about the truck, and you walked away as the last truck standing.
Absolutely. I wasn't only there to do that for my father-in-law. I was there to prove a point too. I didn't really get after him as much as I wanted to because I hit him twice and he was all done. So, it made me smile, and I said a couple things afterwards to the crowd, and it woke them up a little bit. So it made me feel good.
Well, that's awesome. Anybody that you wanted to mention that helped you on the truck, helped you get that together, helped put it back together after the Rouses were done with you on Thursday?
My brother, Kyle Hunter, played a big part in it. Actually, when the morning my father-in-law passed away, about a couple hours afterwards, I went to the shop to paint the memorial for him on it, and it needed an axle and a ball joint and stuff like that, and I had actually did a little bit on it, and then went home to be with my family, and about 4 hours later, my brother sends me a text message and a picture with the truck all done.
That's awesome.
So I didn't have to get up in the morning. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm tearing up a little bit here. He had it all done for me, and it was awesome. Really was.
That's
I have
awesome,
an
man.
awesome family, and
I see he got the invite for a Mad Dog invite down to the King's Old School.
And Ryan Goodspeed get it too? Or Tommy?
Tommy
Yep.
got it. Did you see that yet?
Yep, Tommy and Kyle got it. Yep.
Yeah,
My
well
brother
deserved.
runs hard. He likes to flat-foot it, that's for sure.
Oh, he's a weapon, that's for
He
sure.
deserved that one.
That was well deserved, well earned. I was hoping that the turnout would have been a little bit better for him in that compact feature, but it seemed like he was out there sort of goal oriented. He just wanted to open up as many cars as he could. So I'm hoping that he walked away without too much disappointment.
Yeah, he went out there. He said he wanted to get Mad Dog, and he had never got one before. And he said it would be a dream for him to go to the Coos Mad Dog show, and he succeeded. So
Earned every last piece of it.
Very cool.
yep, absolutely.
Well,
You know, it was a good year for us down at Morris this year for the wall-to-wall crew. I mean, we went down there. I think we made a pretty good name for ourselves. We all ran hard. We built good cars, you know, and we're going to keep doing it. So
big time improvement this year, and you guys keep gaining ground. It's not over yet. You still got San Filippo to go. So we'll look for more of the same when we see you at the end of September.
absolutely.
Well, our condolences to you regarding Tom, and our well wishes to your family, and we certainly wish you the best as the rest of the summer goes, and look forward to catching up with you again at San Filippo and Morris on the 27th.
We thank you guys very much. This Derby community is awesome, and you guys made me feel right at home with everything that was going on, so I really appreciate it.
You bet, man. Keep in touch.
All right, guys.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
We'll see you later, Joe.
Bye.
There goes Joe Armstrong with a win and a memorial to Tom Van Warner. It was cool. Dakota's sitting over there on the side, and you said it was crazy for the guys that are running those trucks?
Being a
Or
passenger.
a passenger.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Chris, what's it like to be a passenger?
It's worth an ER trip.
Yeah. I gotta be
no
honest here.
control, yeah.
I think Jeremy almost alluded to it in the drivers' meeting. I think it was Thursday. I think probably you're going to see some changes in that next year, or maybe even later this year with the passenger thing. And you know, it's
Crazy.
it's crazy. You know, I hate to form really an opinion on it either way because I don't drive the trucks and I don't ride passenger, except for I rode it once with my daughter in the youth class. Well, short of that.
I don't. It's just not
You know.
trucks. I think riding passenger in any derby is insane. I don't get the idea behind it. I mean, what they did last year at Capital City Carnage, I thought that was cool. With
The
two
extreme
guys running
class,
stuff.
And
But-
they got the same class as San Filippo.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not going to ride passenger. I'm going to be the guy steering. So
But I don't
I'm
know.
not-
It's just.
I'd have to be driving.
Yeah,
What do you,
I think
I mean,
I
you were
look at
saying
it.
you were talking with Brian
Yeah.
on the side there, Dakota. What are some of your thoughts on riding passenger? Period. Whether you're in the truck or whether you're in a car or anything. The extreme class where one guy's got the steering wheel, whoever gets the shifter, and somebody has the pedals. Is a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
was going to
different
ask
than just.
about that extreme class. That seemed pretty wild. They did it out at Topeka, I think, the spring
Yeah.
show.
And they're going to have it at San Filippo too, where one guy has the steering wheel, the opposite side has the passenger, or the passenger side has the pedals, or vice versa. If you're willing to rig up some crazy steering, and then whoever wants to run the shifter gets to run the shifter. Ben wisely ran the shifter for Josh and just let Josh focus on steering the car off the berm, and so that's how their night went. And Ben Plate did a great job with his partner, and they ended up getting the win in it. But just riding passenger, you basically have something to hang on to. I know when Bolton ran passenger, there was a steering wheel. You know, there's a steering wheel there. It wasn't connected to anything, just to give you the feeling of riding there. But
Just
you've never
having
done
no
that?
control, seeing them hits coming at you.
Yeah, I don't- I
try
just-
to get out of the way or something.
I don't know. It's bad enough having to worry about. I don't know. I don't. There's no way I'd ever ride with somebody in a derby car ever.
One of the coolest things that ever happened was I got hit in the driver's door, well, the passenger door, and that bump, like all of a sudden that door was flat. It was like right there underneath the bars. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a riding passenger with my daughter, and for some reason it doesn't feel like the hits were as bad. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's different. I
No,
mean,
it's
the
different,
kids,
yeah.
the kids don't have any bad habits, but they also don't have any bad habits.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
But
That's
the thing
it.
is, though, is I've seen, like you asked Brett Relier, he did it, I think, once for his daughter and once for a friend. The second time he did it, he said he took the hardest hits he's ever had in his
Oh, yeah.
career.
Everybody I
he
talked to
was
gets out
knocked
and-
loopy. And I mean, Brett's, he's run probably 300 demos. I mean, he's been in probably close to that many, derbies. And to say the hardest one came in a compact ride.
Well, look at
because the kids don't have any fear. They don't know what's going to hurt.
it's all gas or all brake.
Yeah, so they're wide open. They're bouncing off the rev limiter, and
They're hitting the walls and.
I'm sure with the passengers.
But we were talking about Randy McGravy
too.
earlier. Last year at San Filippo, his son volunteered to ride with somebody that I put in a car, a buddy of mine's wife, and he volunteered to ride as passenger, and he got the ride of his life in there. I think he ended up breaking a hand or something also that day, hand or wrist. I'm not really sure. I know something got in there and broke, but I mean, I was on the sidelines and I thought her throttle stuck, but no, it was like whiskey throttle, man. It was just on. She got the mad dog out of it and never do it again. But she, every time she talks about it, her eyes gleam up a little bit. So I mean, it's pretty awesome. But
I don't know if it's that my leg was scared and it turned white, or if the bones are generally that color, but I can confirm that my shin bone is white.
Yeah.
I got to see that after riding with Gully in that truck.
I think a couple years ago when
That's
that
rough,
passenger thing started in the trucks were a lot softer then too. And now the way the build is for the trucks, and I know where Jeremy was going. And I keep saying Jeremy. I think Brookfield's still allowing the passengers, as far as I know. I'm not 100% sure in our area, but he made an awesome set of rules for the trucks so they could keep running them, get some more use out of them. But making them that hard and having passengers, I don't know how great of a conversation. That's Gully's show. He's gonna have to make a decision on what he wants to do. But he did allude to there might be some changes next year.
Leon Rumsey joining us on the hotline as our last guest for the night. Another compact guy, and he's making a bid for Compact Driver of the Year.
oh yeah,
6 straight wins for him. And Leon's been doing pretty well for himself. Leon's the guy that helps us out with the audio when we go out to Blizzard Bash. He's got the big speakers and everything behind us, so we greatly appreciate that help. But we also have an appreciation for rattling off 6 wins in a row. Leon, nice job with that. But to build off the conversation we were just having, did you ever run passenger or have a passenger in any of your cars?
No, we don't do that much around here in Kansas.
No.
never happened.
I don't know if that's better or worse because of how the cages are built out there. Everything seems like it's full outlaw, compared to the stuff that's out here.
Yeah, we're not running full outlaws. I'm running like a limited weld, I guess. And Chad Markley shows the CDDA rules.
Well, let's talk about what he's been able to do. Harrington, Kansas Team Derby, first place, and your wife was on the second place team. Blue Rapids, Kansas, first place. Oakley, Kansas was a 2-day show. Heats on Friday, then the feature on Saturday. Won that. Stopped in the Hayes, Kansas show on the way home with that car, and won there. And then the next weekend in Belvoir, first place on Friday, and then Hillsboro on Saturday, won that one. So, I mean, it's the heck of a streak that you're on. Is this ever going to end, or is this going to keep going until you're done with compacts?
The wife made me take a little break because the body felt like a punching bag. We're going to hit a couple more this year. I don't know about no Compact Driver of the Year, but we're going to try to hit a couple more. My daughter's going to get back in the car again on Labor Day weekend. She's ran Bash with me because I ran Blizzard Bash one time, and she's ran it too. The one year that she ran with me was the year I got lucky and won Bash. So
That's cool.
It's a pretty good streak. Has this all been new builds? I mean, the one that said right there in the description that you sent me was that it was a carryover. It's been the same car the whole time. New builds. What's up?
yeah, pretty much. I was all rear-wheel drive for years. I wouldn't do none of the front-wheel drive stuff, and then that Regina, Chad's sister, she took rear-wheel drives out of her shows, and then Chad, no rear-wheel drives. So last year we started with these front-wheel drive cars, and I told Chad, I said, I think if we get the steering figured out in these things, we're going to have a hard car. And we threw one together for my wife because she got asked to be on a team. And this is just a fresh car that I built over the winter and put some thought process in it and a lot of beer and a lot of thought.
What's your car choice, Leon?
I like the Buick and the Oldsmobile W bodies.
All right, yep.
What about you,
Better,
Dakota?
I like
We
them
didn't ask
better
you
than the
that.
Luminas.
What do you like, Dakota? We never asked you that earlier.
I'm getting into
I'm
W
pretty
bodies.
lucky.
I like them.
I'm lucky. I get some great parts. I got some great parts from Kyle Ball, though. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like these.
I've seen a movement around, at least locally here. 2 years ago it was all W body, and it seems now it's almost all Camry and a little bit of Honda mixed in. I don't think there was, out of whatever there was, 30, 40 cars at the last couple of shows that I went to. Maybe there was a handful of W bodies at.
There was a Honda Civic
it's
there.
Weird that there's been making a change, but a lot of the runners, I still prefer the W bodies myself. So
Guy Raymond's big on the Avalons.
yeah, he likes the Avalons.
He likes the
and
Avalons.
600 Camrys. He's been doing really well with those. I think it's got a choice.
I've watched some of the live feeds, and some of them Toyotas, man, they look mean, but yeah, no one's really messing with them or figured them out here yet.
And is that within the wheelbase rule up at Impact shows in Canada? Because they got the Avalons and the Camrys and stuff. Because they have that mini smash class. If you run a W body, the wheelbase is too big. That has to run with full size.
Yeah,
and
the
mid-size.
Camrys will fit in. The Avalon might be a little long. I think the Avalon's got a couple inches on the Camry, but I know the Camry fits. I've seen them out there in the obviously the Accords.
So what happened if you just move the rear axle forward a little bit?
Altered wheelbases like
I think they go by NADA.
Doesn't allow you.
Just thinking.
You'd have to move the fenders too.
Yeah, no, because you just run those like tires this big around.
True.
Because all they're for is just until you get the trunk pushed into your back seat. So
well, if you really look at a lot of the wheelbase
tires.
rules, most of them that I've seen for compacts are catered to either keep in or keep out the luminas. So you're only talking a half-inch difference most of the time on the wheelbase. Mm-hmm. Half inch is easy to gain, especially with aluminum. You can get that right out of the control arms in the back, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We always wanted to put a 2.3 in alumina, but no judges would let us.
Yeah.
So if you adjust the control arms in the back to get the wheels forward, so you show up and you make them get the tape measure out, and they got the NADA book, does that make that all of a sudden a tow package lumina?
Yeah.
pretty close.
It's a special. What we say here is a special Canadian model.
Yeah.
Mounted police car special edition.
It's a Lumine. It's got the accent over the.
The way they drive them around here, the back end of the car don't matter. That's all defense, so it don't matter. It just was pulled in.
Mostly for
That's
show.
it. If you're, in my opinion, if you're doing anything with alumina past the firewall, you went too far. Firewall forward.
Exactly.
But your builds are a little bit heavier than what we have out here in New York for like what Jake's talking about. We got a couple places that are comparable, but even those the Markley's shows are still a little bit heavier than what we've got out here, I believe.
Yeah, we're allowed a 14-inch bumper strap, and he lets us have a good cage. You can weld your doors solid, and you can have 6 hood bolts, and your trunk area can only be welded 1 inch, leave 6 inch.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Takers? Anybody? Yeah? Yeah? Any takers? Brian would get into a compact for that, provided somebody built it for him.
Probably not. Those cars move too fast. Man. You stand and watch those cars, and I love watching them because they turn to junk instantly. But they're just coming so quick that the way guys get jostled around. I'm old. I don't want to take that abuse.
When Kyle Spear hit Dan Bolton in that right rear corner, and the quarter panel was gone now, that was crazy. And I'm blanking on her name. 3B. She drove one of the cars.
Monica. Or no, 8B. Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
I got to look her name up. She had a pointy bumper that was V'd up and pushing through the top of the radiator, and she was still hitting with the front of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a battering ram. She was just hammering with that.
We've seen it. When we go to Topeka, we see it. Those guys, the builds are a little heavier, but those cars are they just junk stuff. And even around here, it's got to where guys are getting the hang of it, building good stuff, and they're great to watch, but I have no desire. I want the car to take a little bit of the abuse. So I'm
Rebecca
old.
Schofield in that in the Queen Smash in the first round on Sunday night. She drove the wheels off that thing.
I think she's from Lawrence or right close to there.
She's in with that. She was in with Jerry Madsen's group.
Yeah,
Jerry ended up winning the compact title.
I almost think Schaefer brought that out later on in the day, if I remember right. I could be wrong there, but I thought I seen him drive out with it.
I believe it.
So. He's another guy, too. If he's on the track, you definitely got to keep your eye over your shoulder. But I was talking to Backus after we ran in the full size, or I took the compact out in the full size. And
Joe?
He goes, yeah. He says, I couldn't hit you. The maneuverability of the compacts.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where there's a lot of game in there.
Well, it happened to me, too, 2 years
Till they
ago,
get a hold of
3
you.
years ago at Waterloo when It came out. I had my Cadillac, which was bent, and then Donnie had. I think Donnie had Illumina. And
was it Illumina or was it a Buick Century? They had a whole bunch of Buick Centuries.
It was a couple years ago. It was probably Century. He had a ton of them.
And he just outmaneuvered me. And then when I would finally get a hit on him, I was so pissed off that I could finally hit him. I was just in the gas. And I was hitting him.
Dakota's laughing at you.
I was hitting. I was hitting him, just hit him in the back, and it was just rolling the tin in. And eventually, I knocked my own dry shaft output.
And it was nothing. There was a bunch of cars those compacts that we've seen in various derbies where the back wheels are just hanging loose, or they're stuffed up to the doors, or they're pitched in over the top of each other, and doesn't matter. Just drag around that trunk floor.
Yeah, I mean they're great to watch. I've really become a fan of watching the compacts. I mean they put on a great show everywhere we go.
And there's drivers in there that everybody thinks, they're just compacts. There are drivers in the compacts. They know how to headhunt those wheels, tires, axles like crazy. And
a perfect example was the feature last night. That was some really impressive driving there at the end. The last 3-4 cars really impressed me with the driving as far as just knowing where to be and trying to get away from each other and saving the front end. And it was pretty impressive.
I think it was Christopher Walrath was there. He was the guy with the PT Cruiser, and he was making some good shots. And he was catching people with risky shots, like people had their wheels turned.
Yeah,
and he had his wheels turned too. He was catching some risky shots. I was impressed with the attire that he chose to drive in. He drove a Hawaiian print shirt. We all know those are polyester. We know how they're fire retardant and or resistant qualities. Yeah. So I was a little worried for him, but he did all right.
The guy that won the compacts last year at Capital City Carnage, he did I can't remember his name, but I just remember his driving really sticks out in my mind. I mean, he drove hard all night, but I mean, when he'd hit a tire, guys would be done. I mean, he did a really nice job.
You live in a part of Pennsylvania and that Ohio border where there's a ton of good I mean, you referenced Sickles coming up. You have to contend with him quite a bit. There's a lot of good compact drivers in your part of the state.
Yeah, PA, especially right over the Ohio border. I mean, you got some of them guys there, and it's just a whole world difference too. You know, I mean, Ohio's coming over to PA, and PA goes over to Ohio, but just seeing the difference in the cars, and we learn off them little by little, and everybody helps each other out, like in the Derby community. It's just, it's crazy. I mean,
you ever mess around with the rear-wheel drive cars? I know HDRC, which is from Ohio, we're pretty close with them, the Tillerys and the Rutherfords and all them. They run a lot of rear-wheel drive stuff, Mustang.
I did when probably my second year running. I had some old Chevettes.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, the rules really weren't totally tank building and stuff. It was somewhat stock. Our show at Jamestown down there, and we took these 2 Chevettes down, and we got like 3 runs out of them. But that's about the only time I messed with a rear-wheel drive compact.
Leon, what were you doing with rear-wheel drives? What was your car that you preferred?
Fox bodies and Mustang 2s.
Oh yeah.
I was fully cradled, fully tranny braced, full 9-inch rear end braced, 500 and 600 or 633 gears. 12-inch tires on the back, and just jump out of a hole, and had a great big pointy on it, and ran that one 13 times and sold the car. It won 10 of them in a row.
10 in a row? That was all with you? You won 10 in a row?
What's that?
You won 10 in a row with that car, or that car won 10 in a row?
That car, I won 10 in a row with that car a couple years back, but then broke my ribs in it, and broke my foot, and had 4 broken ribs in it, and wife said time for the car to go bye-bye, so we sold it and we went to Oklahoma.
So we're making a big deal about the 6 in a row, and it's not even the best that you've done. It's like this is nothing. This is nothing for you. You do this all the time. This is old hat.
No. This is pure luck.
But can you imagine winning 10 in a row with the same car? I mean, you show up at a track and they hate you. You pull in and they hate you right away.
Harold Benjamin did it back in the day. I don't know if he won 10, but he had an Imperial, and he used to call it Old Blue, and it was a full framer. And he won pretty much everywhere he went with that thing. And I think he won Waterloo 4 or 5 times in a row with it. And everywhere he went,
Are we talking Saturdays or Wednesdays and Saturdays?
Saturdays. Old Blue was a Saturday night car. Because they didn't always come on Wednesday night, but they were always there on Saturday. But it was funny because we were talking about it. Harold and Mark came up this year, and we were talking. I brought up Old Blue, and Harold smiled. I can't remember. This was 25 years ago. No, probably more than that. It's probably closer to 30 years ago. And,
30 years ago would have put it 1987.
Yeah. Stuff was just stock back then, so it was just a stock Imperial. Well, Shamong
That's
stock.
not true.
Shamong stock, but you know, and I just, you know, like I said, he ran everything for like 3 years.
Yeah. Another one was Jesse. I wonder if you had found out how many wins in a row he probably ever had. I bet it'd be impressive.
Oh yeah.
I don't ever remember him losing.
No, Jesse was always there.
You know,
Jesse was always there. Well, I know the one year. The year he won the state fair.
And I went to Oklahoma now, and that kid's ran it 4 or 5 times now, and he's having a heyday with it.
He's never having to build another car.
No. I know the year. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Leon.
Was that?
No, you're good.
Finish what you were saying about Oklahoma and having a great time.
Yeah, that guy, he's having a good time with it in Oklahoma, and he's a busy guy, he says, and it's kind of neat just changing tires and going and playing again. But that comes from probably inspecting at Bash a few years and learning about some pressures and locking some stuff in with tranny braces and stuff. But that was a fun car.
You ever going to have another one like that?
No. Too much time into that. But this car that I'm running now is just, you know, the front-wheel drive deal. We spent the winter building it, and it was built mainly for that Oakley show. And, you know, that was a 4-hour haul for me going up there. And just the difference in people, the fair board, the crowd, the other drivers. There was a lot of good-built cars and a lot of good drivers. But my car was totally opposite of anything that they were used to seeing. But they were all friendly about it. They weren't none of this crap where they hate you automatically because you're out of town and stuff. And then to go out, and I took the throttle stops out, and we let her eat on that new motor, and it was kind of fun. So I had tons of help, and it was a blast. But
anybody that you wanted to make mention of that helped you with that car?
Oh, absolutely. I got Steve Dittmer and Bob Losey, the Metz brothers. My wife, most and foremost, she's out there in the garage all the time helping, and all winter long, all summer long, we probably eat more meals in our garage than we actually eat in the house. So she cooks it, brings it to us, and keeps us boys fed good. And so Trent Schaefer, my soon-to-be son-in-law, probably. So, but yeah, I got good people helping. So, that's like awesome. This deal on this run here, the one night I worked that weekend, I worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I got home and my car was on the trailer ready to go for me to go derby. And I got home out of the work car, got into the derby truck, and hit the road.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, can't argue there. That's pretty nice.
Chris, give me one of those deals, will you?
That's the life of George Hackett right there. He's living that life right there.
That's awesome.
Well, Leon, where's the next one?
We're going to save it up. We're going to go to Clyde. We're fixing up some used junk, take a couple cars over to Clyde, Kansas on Labor Day weekend, and then we'll go run Salina Speedway in October.
Awesome.
So we got a little break going, and I think we're going to try to maybe throw a fresh one together in between. So
cool.
Very cool. Nice. Well, yeah, congratulations on the streak. Wish you the best of luck when you get over there on Labor Day, and maybe you can stretch it out to 7 and see if you can rival that run of 10 in a row you had with the rear-wheel drive car.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
There goes Leon Rumsey, and so nice having these new phones. We did 3 phone calls on it. Battery hasn't even moved. The other one, we'd need 3 phones to do it.
Yeah, we used to go through phones pretty quick.
Yep. So the odds of this one getting on Finger Lakes 1 are over. No one has sworn through the whole episode, but we're now at almost an hour and a half.
I blame it on
Chris. With that funky start, man, that threw me off completely. And then
you have trouble with the signal?
It didn't want to take off on YouTube. I set it to go live, and it didn't. And then it came up with this message that said, "Do you want to go live?" Well, yeah, I already told you to go live
10 minutes in.
So it was. I think looking at the 2 clocks, we're only about 5 minutes different. So we backtracked. We hit all the stuff. The only thing I don't get is the intro. So it is what it is. But.
It's time for a new intro, anyways. Get your graphics department on that, will you?
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Time for Chris and Mark.
I like that part.
Me too.
Looks like you got some mud on the hat this weekend.
Yeah, I was dirty when I left there. Mud on the face, hat, front side, back side, legs. It's all.
And all you had to do was just announce and enjoy the Derby.
I know, that was it.
How was that? Was it fun to just, other than the guy telling you sucked, which obviously he doesn't know what he's talking about, but other than that, did you have fun and enjoy a Derby?
It was cool. Josh gets so excited. Pete and I were talking today. He goes, "You're so," and he was trying really hard to find a polite way to say. Tepid,
exuberant?
mundane, vanilla. He was trying to find a polite way to say average, quiet. Because Josh gets so over the top, and that was we're the yin and the yang. I balance him out, he balances me out. That's why it works like that. I'm very collected, and he goes, "You talk about the same people the same way every time. You never get excited about any drivers. Like, you don't have any favorites. You're always just the same tone no matter what." And it's like, I can get excited, but I can't blow it out because that's a lot of time with microphones. I get excited, but I don't go over the top. I don't start yelling. Josh, I was talking to Pete. Josh could announce a derby if you stapled his mouth shut and took a microphone away. Just by his hand gestures, he could announce a derby, So that's the difference between us. It was a lot of fun. We were picking on because the crowd wasn't really bantering back and forth with us. They wanted to see the cars, which is what they were there for. I take nothing away from. So we were taking shots at each other and picking on each other, and I don't think the crowd was particularly entertained by it, but we had a lot of fun. You were?
I was. During red flags, I could hear you guys, so that was pretty cool. And busting on each other and busting on Dano and a few other guys.
Dano got it.
Anybody can bust on Dano. And
Mike Lapp was going up through the stands, and I was going to say there's an attractive version of Josh DeBevick when he was going up through the stands, but I didn't because Josh wasn't there, and I didn't want to get back. And who knew how many people, there. Nothing against Josh.
If I'd known you were going down, I'd have sent you DeBevick left a breaker bar at my dad's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I'd known you were going down, I'd have sent you to that, and I could have got.
I got to go to the post office. I got to get a bunch of stuff out for Eric. Those guys when they're getting ready to take off to Ohio here. So I'll pick it up this week and we'll get it in the mail to him. I got his mail. I got his address. But
what do you think, Chris Marcourt?
It's time to put a fork in it. Dakota, did you have fun?
Yeah, had fun.
Glad you came up, hung out with us for a little while. We'll have to do it again sometime after.
We'll catch up maybe to a derby or something,
Either way, we'll find time. But appreciate you making the drive up and enjoying a little bit of the Finger Lakes for the day and bringing Harley along and enjoying that.
She's getting pretty antsy to go home.
That's all right. She's having fun. They're talking about something over there. It's all right. Jake, appreciate you coming up always. Brian, appreciate it. Best of luck to Ben. Ben's little girl Sydney had her last travel league softball game, so he's at that. And
cool.
and Josh told me after this weekend he was never going to go to a demolition derby again. So I only trust that next weekend he's going to be at a demolition derby.
There's a car in his. Hard to believe Josh just posted something on Facebook and they're tearing apart a car for the extreme.
I just want to point something out. As much as we pick on Dano for selling stuff, have you seen all the stuff that Josh has been selling?
Yeah, he's been moving a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Josh Bolton nickname is starting to come up to the top here with all the goings and comings.
I think Josh isn't as pretty as Dan, though. Dan is pretty about everything.
He does have good hair.
You have to dust the floor in Dan's garage when you get done, and it's
the one
I'm
fella.
usually pretty good at running numbers, and I can tell you between the two, I think Josh is losing money when he sells, and Dano always gains money when he sells.
And on that
note, that's going to do it for 191 in the books. We appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you next time.
Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLinks1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.